Most men grow up believing that love is something you earn by giving more, doing more, proving more. They think if they just say the right things, send the perfect text, show enough affection, that somehow it'll convince her to stay. But that mindset is rooted in lack. It screams, I need you to choose me so I can feel whole. And that's exactly what repels her. Women don't fall for men who seek validation, they fall for men who already own their worth. A woman can feel when a man doubts himself. She can sense when he's trying to impress her rather than simply be himself. She doesn't want someone who's bending over backwards for her approval. She wants a man who walks in already knowing what he brings. The difference isn't in the words you say. It's in the energy you carry. When you stop chasing, when you stop proving, and instead live from a place of grounded self-respect, you become magnetic. Not loud, not arrogant, just solid. You don't need to flex your confidence, you just live it. It's in your tone. It's in your stillness. It's in your ability to say less and let your presence say more. That calm, collected energy is what makes her lean in, not because you're trying to pull her closer, but because you've stopped needing her to fill a void you've already filled yourself. And that's the paradox. When you finally become the man who no longer chases love, that's exactly when love starts chasing you. Not every woman will recognize that energy right away, but the right one will. And when she does, she won't fall because of what you said or did, she fall because of who you already are. A woman can't miss what never leaves. That's the mistake most men make. They overstay their welcome emotionally. They give too much too soon, thinking consistency means constant access. But when you're always available, you stop being valuable. You become expected, predictable, easy to overlook. Real attraction doesn't grow in overexposure. It grows in mystery, in space, in earned access. If you're always texting, always replying within seconds, always showing up before she even asks, you're teaching her that your time and energy are cheap. And what's cheap is never cherished. That's not being a good man, that's being an easy man. And she doesn't respect easy. But when you shift, when you start prioritizing your life, your mission, your goals, everything changes. You're not ignoring her, you're just not centering her. Your focus becomes your progress, not her approval. And when she feels that shift, when she realizes she's not the center of your world, curiosity kicks in. She starts wondering where your attention is going. She starts feeling the absence of your validation. And that's when desire begins. Because now your presence feels earned. Now your energy feels rare. You've stopped feeding her ego for free. And she begins to value what you no longer give away. You don't do it to punish. You do it to protect your value. Because not every woman should have unlimited access to your time. You become a man she has to rise, to reach. And in that pursuit, her feelings deepen. Not because you manipulated her, but because you respected yourself enough to not give everything away to someone who hadn't earned it. That shift from always available to purposefully selective is what makes her see you as someone different. Someone valuable. Someone she wants, not someone she expects. Most men fear walking away. Even when they're disrespected, they stay hoping things will get better, hoping she'll change, hoping their loyalty will finally be appreciated. But all they're really doing is sacrificing their self-respect for a connection that's already dying. A man who values himself doesn't stay where he's not valued. He doesn't tolerate emotional games, manipulation, or being treated like an option. He doesn't stay silent when his boundaries are crossed just to keep the peace. He walks not to hurt her, but to protect the standards he's built through pain, growth, and self-discipline. And that kind of man is rare. Most will beg, plead, or tolerate disrespect out of fear of loneliness, fear of starting over, fear of not finding better. But the man who's done the work knows that peace is better than chaos, even if it comes with solitude. That energy is powerful. It sends a clear message. I want love, but I don't need it at the cost of myself. And ironically, that's when she starts seeing you differently. Because you didn't stay where you were mistreated. You didn't sell your soul to be kept. You didn't try to convince her. You showed her your strength in silence, in distance, in walking away with your dignity intact. And whether she admits it or not, she feels it. She feels the contrast between you and every man who begged for another chance. She sees your value more in your absence than she ever did in your presence. And that's what makes you unforgettable, not because you chased her, but because you chose yourself when it mattered most. That's the mark of a man no woman can easily replace. Emotional independence is the foundation of masculine strength. Most men let their emotions rise and fall based on a woman's mood. If she's distant, they panic. If she's cold, they chase harder. That's emotional weakness disguised as love. But the man who is emotionally grounded doesn't need her to be okay in order for him to be okay. His mood isn't tied to her reactions. His identity isn't shaped by her affection. He stands firm in who he is, regardless of what she's doing. That creates power. Because she starts to realize that she doesn't control him. She can't manipulate him with silence, with distance, or with emotional games. He's calm, he's present, but he's also untouchable. Not because he doesn't care, but because he doesn't lose himself in caring. That kind of emotional control is rare. It's not coldness, it's maturity. It says, I value you, but I won't collapse for you. And that sends a message louder than any words. This man is complete. She begins to admire you not just for how you treat her, but for how you hold yourself together when most would unravel. You don't guilt trip, you don't beg. You don't emotionally bleed all over her just to prove you feel something. You feel deeply, but you don't lose your edge. You've built an emotional world that isn't dependent on her presence, and that's exactly why she wants to be part of it. Because now, love with you isn't a responsibility, it's a privilege. You're not asking her to save you. You're showing her that she can be part of something solid, something grounded, something real. And that's what separates you from every man she's ever known. The moment you let go of the outcome, everything shifts. Most men sabotage connection because they're obsessed with controlling how it plays out. They overthink every message, analyze every silence, try to predict every emotion, but in doing so, they lose their center. They make her response the measure of their worth. And that kind of energy is repelling. It comes off as desperate, anxious, and needy. But when you detach not from care, but from need, you become dangerous, in the best way. You stop chasing validation and start choosing peace. You stop trying to force love and start flowing in your own lane. That's when your energy becomes unpredictable, and therefore attractive. She starts to notice you're not shaken by her distance. You're not panicking over her attention. You're not waiting around, because your life is moving forward with or without her. That's when curiosity is born. That's when respect takes root, because now she sees you not as a man hoping to be chosen, but as a man who already chose himself. You're no longer trying to impress, you're living with purpose. You're not performing, you're just being. And that authenticity is rare. Most men either smother or detach out of fear. You've found the balance, caring without clinging, loving without losing yourself. That's when love hits her the hardest, when she realizes you're not orbiting around her, you're standing in your own light. You've made yourself the center of your world, and now she wants to be part of it. Not every woman will be ready for that kind of man. But the ones who are, they'll never forget you. Because you didn't beg for love, you became the kind of man it naturally gravitates toward.